You know, I've never been a believer in absolutes. I remember when I got into this business, there was a guy that said, just never talk politics. And I said to him at the time, I said, if you're good, you can talk about anything. People won't shut you off. Howard Stern talks about religion. Howard Stern talked about politics. Howard Stern talked about anything he wants. Interesting. Nobody shuts it off. I'm not a big believer. There's an absolute way to do things. In baseball, can you imagine the first manager who called for an intentional walk? Can you imagine that? Now it's strategy. But hey, intentionally. Buck Showalter once walked Barry Bonds with the bases full. They got the next guy out. His argument was, Barry's hitting 600. I'd rather give up 1 run than 4. Mike Vrabel is like that. Bill Belichick, by the way, was the first guy to go for it at midfield, 4th down. He was the first guy. I'm going to draft a kicker. You can't draft a kicker. Yeah, Stephen Gostkowski, I'm going to draft him, and he's going to be our leading scorer. Bill Belichick was the guy that started passing on 3rd and 1 because Tom Brady was so efficient. He was the first coach. Remember 2011 Super Bowl? Belichick let the Giants score. That was an unwritten rule. NFL, you make a man earn it. And he just stood up and let the Giants score because he wanted the ball back. Mike Vrabel is that new coach. Mike Vrabel of Tennessee is that new coach. Baseball, let them be the sport with too many rules, unwritten rules, written rules. Football, anything to win the game. Whatever it takes to win the game. Mike Vrabel this Sunday, late in the game, to manipulate the clock, gave Houston a first down. 12 men on the field. He purposely put 12 men on the field that would give Houston a first down. They would get a first down. He's like, I'm just going to give it to you. So you don't go first, second, third, fourth. He saved 40 seconds on the clock. And when they scored eventually, there was 4 seconds on the clock. By the way, last year he did the same thing. Remember they took on New England? And he had back-to-back delay of game penalties. Then it burned like a minute of the clock. Yes, after the game he was coy about it. But this is Belichick. Whatever it, we'll draft a kicker. We'll go for it in 4th down. We'll pass on 3rd and 1.5. Stop living a life with all these rules and have to. You can't, you have to, you can't. Win games. And I've thought about this. If I have Patrick Mahomes or Russell Wilson, if I was Andy Reid and Pete Carroll, and by the way, Seattle's defense is terrible. And even though Pete Carroll's a defensive coach, 2.5 minutes in a game, team's down to the 8-yard line. If I'm Pete Carroll, I'd let a team score because I got Russell Wilson. And as long as you can give me Russell Wilson a couple timeouts and a minute 55, I can win. These are decisions I think coaching staffs have to have in the offseason or in a bye week. Sometimes we're just going to let somebody score. I wouldn't do it if I had Kirk Cousins, but if I had Patrick Mahomes, if I had Russell Wilson, hell, right now, Ryan Tannehill, Mike Vrabel just wanted the ball back. Mike Vrabel's a tough guy. He's like, I just want the ball back. My guys are good. We're good here, but we can't stop them today. We can't stop Deshaun Watson. They're going to score anyway. So I'll just give them a first down. We know they're going to score. It maybe saves me 40 seconds. It did. They scored with 4. I love this way of thinking. Of course, Mike Vrabel played it very coy when he was asked about it yesterday.
On that late 12 men on the field penalty against you guys, was that potentially done to stop the clock?
You know, we have to do a better job with penalties. You know, we had 7 of them, I think. Pretty uncharacteristic.
Right, but the 12 men on the field one in particular, were you trying to save some clock time by getting that call?
The 2nd and 1, you know, just trying to get them to try to make a stop there and substitute it in, you know, an extra DB. But, you know, we ultimately got to do a better job on first down in 4-minute defense and not give up 9 yards.
That is so Belichick. That is so coy and so Belichick. They gave the team a first down. Get in there, score. We can't stop you. At that point, you're just looking for time. I think it's something I think about all the time as a fan. Is we've all watched games like this. There's like 2.5 minutes left. The other team's driving on you. You can't really stop him. And you're thinking to yourself, you've thought this, I've thought this. Just let him score. I got Mahomes. I got Russell Wilson. I got Aaron Rodgers. I got Tom Brady. I got Carson.
When you have one of them, you can do that.
I'm not saying do it with everybody, but Tannehill right now is elite. Tannehill's last 17 games, he's elite. I want him. I want the ball. Let him score. You can't do that. Buck Showalter intentionally walked a run in and got the next guy out because Barry Bonds, was hitting 600 at that point. Herd hierarchy, hour 2 in LA. Next.